Well, it's like, you know, playing with 40 bands. It's been great. I consider these bands to be like our peers, and it's like a bunch of piranhas in a pool, like with one piece of meat, and we're all just like, ah, and the audience is the meat, you know, or like a crocodile, you know, it's like
more like a rockadillo.
Just doing our thing, reproducing, and just eating.
There's a giant, what's a teleprompter video screen on the sides of the stage, man. You know, no matter what, Billy's penis was at least this big that night, you know? It was like this 25-foot screen, whatever, so it was pretty funny.
Well, I think we would have gotten bored if we would have kept doing the same thing, but, you know, it's like, if you know, at the same time we didn't abandon our past completely, it just sort of, that's why there's so many songs. 18 songs
there. They can train.
The cool thing about the Warped Tour with punk rock is that it kind of represents all pinnacles of punk rock in different aspects of it, like totally different, like from the Boss Tones version of it to No Effects to us to, you know, it's a pretty broad spectrum.
Trey walked by him and said, "Hey, baby," like that, and he goes, "Hey," and so I think they were going to get together, but we had to be rushed out of there, so because the cops were mad at us for something we did. It kind of sucks because I really wanted to catch his set, but we missed it. We heard on the way out though, as we were being rushed out, we heard Gene Genie.
It's almost like it's like the certain powers that be have gotten a little less of a grip on the kids. Like less kids are just going into football. And less kids are just going, you know, they're, you know, hey, I could try skating or do other things. It's like kids are more opening up, I think.
Oh, it's about, what's it about, Trey?
No.
I have no idea.
The whole record, I feel, is very inspired. Yeah, we just took our time, and I think the best thing that we could have done when we got off tours last time was just put our instruments down and quit for a while. You need to have life experience.
I actually pay those guys by buying the records. you know, they're great bands and I love them, but you know, I mean, we just try and focus on ourselves. Like I was more influenced when I got introduced into punk rock. It was more bands like, you know, like Dead Kennedys and MDC and Crimp Shrine and just lots of Bay Area punk rock. You know, the Cramps. The Avengers, things like that, and then then there was other like pop stuff that I was kind of into that was kind of trashy pop, like Replacements and Husker Du, and things like that, you know. And people always say, "Oh man, those guys sound just like the Buzzcocks." And I didn't get a Buzzcocks record till after we recorded our second album, but you know, hey, if we sound like them, I guess we're not doing too bad a thing. So whatever, you know.
I think music's changed for the better in the sense that, like, I mean, to some extent, I think it sucks that my next door neighbor is a jock and he's got green hair. And my mom's best friend has a nose ring, but I mean, on one hand it really sucks, but on the other hand it's like, you know, I come from an area that's pretty multicultural, and if I live in the Midwest or some suburban area, you know, nowadays I can listen to the type of music I want to listen to, or you know, figure out what my sexuality is or whatever without getting my ass kicked every day of the week, you know. So it's nice to push the envelope, and I think over the last 10 years people have learned to just relax a little bit more.
Well,
smoke 'em if you got 'em.
Well, we used to play that just during sound check and stuff, just sort of, you know, just something we just jam on.
We didn't force anything. You know, with the last record, it was about, let's write a ton of songs and then see what record comes out of it. I love every song on there, but there's a lot. It's a pulverizing record.
There's always, that's the thing, you know, like people think, oh, punk rock is sold out, you know, they don't know. Anybody who is truly a part of any punk rock scene knows that there are still real punk rock shows, good bands starting on underground levels all over the world, little small factions all over the world, and it's always going to be there, and nothing can ever stop it. And if you don't believe it, it's because you're not a part of it, and that's just where that is, you know.
Well, I liked it. I mean, Nimrod was cool because it's something that maybe, I mean, the purpose was that maybe you're not going to be able to get all the songs at this point in your life, but maybe later on you put it on and you're, oh yeah, there's those songs. Yeah.
This record, we wanted to go with a different kind of, you know, all of our records before have been like just really like punching straight out of the gate. And I think this one we wanted to kind of go for what it was like an old Stones record or something, you know, just the sound where you turn it up real loud and it just surrounds you.
There's a one song called Sick and one song called Espionage, that's our new single.
Yeah, we got a lot.
Yes.
But there's some songs nobody will ever hear.
I like when he talks. Yeah, why don't you keep talking? What were we going for on this record, Steve? Go ahead. Tell everybody.
Fuck ska, so...
Yeah. Actually, we played with the Boss Tones the other day, and it was kind of funny because I was talking to their horn player, Dennis, actually a trombone player, and he, and I was sitting there going, yeah, well, I said, you know, and we were kind of bullshitting back and forth, and I said, well, you know, I said, it's actually nice to see you guys play because you have a history longer than 5 minutes behind what you're doing, which is my only, like, complaint is, you know, don't mix punk and ska. I don't know, it's like, the recipe is too new, you know? I think that, you know, there's bands that were doing it for a long time that really got it and knew what they were doing and have had it, you know, and I don't think you need to mix, you know, a generic punk rock beat with with any old song. That Save Ferris tune, you know, I'm not to pick on any particular band, but that song sucked the first time. So, whatever, you know?
Well, I think so. I mean, America has this sort of false sense of freedom that, but there's also a lot of, warning signs and caution signs and no trespassing areas, and even metaphorically speaking too, and it makes you question your freedom, and it makes you sort of wonder about what, where like rebellion even comes from.
We are extremely political, if you will, Bill, and
I think it was
just wanted to kind
pretty funny spoof just to raise some sort of awareness that, look, you're not going to have good choices, but you better choose the lesser of two evils, or you may get what you don't ask for.
You might get Billy Joe.
You have to be pretty much insane to want to be the president of the United States, and so you got to understand that you're voting for a few, or you're voting for insane people. It's just a matter of which person is the least insane.
Well, our engineer Tone was getting his first flogging, and he took it like a champ. He's like 19-year-old engineer.
Brought in a dominatrix.
Yeah, she was very professional, and
Mr. Simone.
Yeah, Mr. Simone, and she cracked at him, and now it's like his first real pain.
We put the mics up and we recorded the whole thing. Keep it fun.
But you know what? They're playing music. They're not cops. They're not in the military. So, go figure. They're not doing that evil of thing. So.
I mean, I think of every record, and especially this one in sort of a rebirth, we're so happy. We're just so happy to be playing music. I mean, I don't care about anything else, outside stuff that comes along with it. It's just the fact that we're playing, and we're playing well together, and we've been doing it for, over 10 years. It's just, I never would have thought it would come to this ever.
Just kind of, we're showing and making fun of the ridiculousness of American politics, just the absurdity of the amount of money and effort they spend in making themselves up as big-time celebrities. And, it's more about that than about any causes.
This song came out of Billy's twisted little head.
Yeah, it's like he's running all these machines and instruments and songs and things in his head so much that something like this has to come out. It's a masterpiece.
Yeah, it's just really weird, and I don't know. I don't really want to tap into that side too often because yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I think that song should have been on Insomniac a little bit, but I don't know. It's gypsy, Italian, Mexican. It's everywhere, and I think it's just how many dark places can you go around the world within a period of 4 minutes of one song.
Well, this one's obviously my favorite because I'm focused on it right now. I can't really say I have a favorite because it's like picking one of your favorite kids, and you can't do that. It's like saying you have a favorite child, I think Insomniac, 4.5 million people really got that record, and that record is such a kick in the balls. It's so slamming. I mean, there's songs on that record that have every bit of pop credibility. I mean, Geek Stink Breath is a slamming tune in my opinion. Westbound Sign is an amazing pop tune, Walking Contradiction, you have Brain Stew, Jaded, and I think those songs, they really stand out. I mean, it was a great record.
Well, I mean, it's also, when I was listening to a lot of Tom Waits, specifically Rain Dogs, a lot when
I was at home, and I guess, I don't know, maybe that's my take on Tom Waits or something. I have no idea.
Yeah, we'll come back for proper dates. It's just a matter of, playing for a small, like a select group of fans, and kind of puts a little bit of merit into actually coming out here other than just to talk to press, because it's pretty boring.
I'm too cocky to be surprised about how great our music is. So I'll let these guys be humble, and I expect only great songs.
I think, like, personally, this record, it's because we didn't force the songs out or anything. There's for everything I was doing on it, there's a lot more serendipity than there is, to any of the other records. I mean, there's always a lot of it, because you just kind of fumble around until you find what fits, But this record, it took a lot more serendipitous nature.
People dress really well here. People dance really well here. You guys love it here. Great. 11 other catchy tunes. It's a Green Day record.
The modern Green Day of these times, today.
There's no, you can't expect any techno on it. You can't expect any scratching or anything like that. Rock and roll songs.
There's no flutes. Not one flute.
Well, no, I can't look at, let's say, one's. I just look at them as a work and say they're a little, one's different. Individually speaking, every song is just as important as the entirety.
Yeah, we're the illustrious Green Day.
That's 2/3 of the illustrious Green Day.
And you've reached the last page of the internet. Congratulations. You're on Dot Music.
Well, we were first put together by the record company. We had auditions at the shopping mall. I was picked on my dancing abilities. I can do the head spin. And our first gig was at Disneyland.
It feels right now, it's like you never know in the future what's going to bring you down or what is going to lift you up. We had the best shows the last time, like all the times that we ever played. But yeah, we're excited. We're ready to come back.
First one, 1039 Smooth Out Slappy Hours. That's just a compilation of like 2 7-inches, one compilation song, and an album, the album 39 Smooth. That's 19 songs. It's like we're writing more and more songs every time. It's unreal.
They found an alteration on my vocal cords due to screaming my head off every night when we're playing, so...
if we would listen more often, he wouldn't have to scream so much.
But it's fine.
That was really cool. Yeah, that was in our actual practice space. I mean, they painted the walls blue and red for it, but that was it was about the size of this room, actually, maybe a little bit bigger. And we just happened to be standing around, and due to mutual friends, bumped heads and thought it was a good idea that the world could get to see us over their computers, because, I don't know. It's weird. My dad's a computer programmer, and he's got all these weird theories on everything, but it used to be like where computers would totally separate you and you'd be locked into your computer and be antisocial. Well, nowadays, computers are so common that it's actually becoming social again, and people are having conversations through them, and you're getting that one-on-one feedback again, once again, like you wouldn't have, say, 10 years ago. This is my dad's theory on this, I still, part of me says he's full of crap, the other part of me says, well, you're right, because we are doing this right now, so.
Writing another record, so we don't end up writing crappy songs on the road that are about being on the road that nobody can relate with.
What can I say? In a world of political correctness, I'm not very PC.
No pun intended.
I'll have to remember that one. That was an attack, a little computer attack there.
Oh, it's beginning to smell in here. No, but seriously.
Pow! There you have it, folks. The information superhighway. Speaking of, there's a tune that kind of has to do with that. A song called Desensitized. If you look on the record, I'm credited as playing baseball bat on the record, and on the Japanese version, on the Japanese CD, we threw it on the Japanese CD because other countries, they tend to want an extra song and stuff sometimes. I don't know what it's all about, but I do know that in very populated areas of the world, music means a lot to people because you can only go inside your head when this is how much personal space you have at all times. Just give me some space, man. That's all I'm asking for. So you close your eyes, put your headphones on, and music means a lot to you.
Fuck high school. Fuck having a job. Fuck college. I say, if you have a scam in life, take it. I want someone to rob a bank in the name of Green Day. That'd be fine. If they can make masks that look like me, Trey, and Mike,
then we'll
go in.
We'll get you out.
Yeah, and go in and just be like, we're the Green Day gang, and we want all your money.
Let's work it.
Get on the floor.
I think it might shock some people, but you know what? I think for us at the time it was probably the fuckest thing we could have done, because it was definitely a brave move. I mean, a lot of people don't put emotional songs right up front there out on Broadway.
I think we're not really sprinting. We're just sort of we're just doing the same pace, but it's pretty fast paced, and you know, for recording, we're faster than every other band, pretty much. I believe that's what I've been told by people that know. So you guys are faster than everyone else. Oh, great. We practiced for a long time, like 2 years. We've been practicing and writing songs and playing them and writing new ones and playing them and just hanging out at home with our families and getting together every day, 5 days a week playing.
Pretty self-explanatory. Minority is it's kind of an anthem for individuality in a time, you know, where your mother's best friend has a nose ring and the jock next door has green hair or whatever. You just kind of have to look inside yourself to find your individuality.
I mean, I have places to escape to, you know. I ride a motorcycle. I wear a helmet and nobody knows who I am. That's an escape in its own, you know. And if it really gets nuts, I do a wheelie, you know. You know, just ride a little dirt, or I mean a street bike. So it's nothing big, and that kind of helps me escape the hustle and bustle and race around and get out my aggressions. I actually, I've been really fortunate. I've wrecked my bike twice, but I landed on my feet both times. And both times they were other people's fault. Just people cutting me off in front of me. Real bad luck, you know, what can I say? So far, I've been luckier than the Chili Peppers. And those guys, I actually talked to those guys about it, man. They just had bad luck. The one time that I did kind of hurt myself, I wrecked in front of Trey's house. I was turning around the corner and my shocks were really loose on my handlebars. And I went to turn, and his street is convex, like this, you know, kind of up and over. Skateboard's concave, this is convex, you know, whatever. And I was turning, and my tire turned and dropped about that far off of this manhole and turned my wheel just enough to where my bike buckled underneath me. I jumped back, and it bent my big toe all the way backwards from, like, I had a big crease right here. It was really cool. So I couldn't really lean all my weight on it for, like, I don't know, for whatever amount of time it was. But thank God it was during this last year, and so I had time to heal before we got back out on the road again.
So it's like, people think we're off, you know, probably in Hawaii, you know, kicking back and shit, but we're in Oakland, playing our jams.
Don't fall in line with the pack.
So much more color. It's so much, like, it's just got depth, you know. It's got like different layers of. It's like each song has its own kind of life, you know. Each song has its own, like, feel to it, its own vibe, its own. It's like each song could be its own album, you know.
One of my favorite things to do is to sit around and make, like, just compilation tapes and stuff, and I think that's a really good thing to do. Like, on the road, I bought this little just this little dual cassette player, and I just sit there and make comp tapes and then carry my little cassette recorder around with me, so it can take me away from, you know, the hurry up and wait of it all, you know, because there's a lot of atrophy that goes on the road, you know, traveling, stuff like that.
It's not like everything's totally, like, wacky. Like, it's not like the Who, a quick one or anything like that. It's not like tangents. Everything's very well thought out and well placed on the record. The sequence is good. It's like we got all these things that are always a problem when we record. It's like it's all thought about already, you know. We didn't leave anything up to the last minute.
You said fuck the rules.
It's not really about what to think, it's just to think, question everything.
Man, it's like really happy, really tense sometimes, really, you know, it's like when we're here and we're partying, it's like we're partying good, we're partying hard, and when we're working hard, and, you know, ideas have just been flowing around this place, they're just bouncing everywhere, ideas. We kind of lost our minds a little bit, actually, honestly. In a good way. Like, it is a blessing to lose our minds in such a way.
We cover songs when it's fun. We did 2 covers on this with this last recording session with Nimrod. We haven't. I mean, they're not on the record, obviously, but we recorded 19th Nervous Breakdown by the Rolling Stones and Allison by Elvis Costello. And I mean, you know, and then we did before we did Tired of Waiting by the Kinks, you know, and we just cover stuff occasionally.
And there's a lot of people telling you what not to do, and be careful of this. You know, this product may cause cancer, or if you drive this car, you may have death or serious injury, or this coffee is extremely hot, and I don't know, everything is just
the world
warning labels and everything. And
for warning labels.
And it sort of becomes there's a false sense of freedom.
We're like in creative mode for so long now. It's just like we can't stop. We did like some photos, and we just berserk, man.
You know, it's just weird. You just try and get up there and make it eventful, you know, and have fun. And that kid was really cute, and it was the only way we could fake getting him backstage, make him look like he was a part of the band for a minute, get him backstage, and you know, we were in there. I'm just saying to the extent of you know, everyone needs. Wait, who am I quoting now? Is this Rick Springfield? We all need human touch. but the thing is, at least you're having a conversation with somebody else, you know, and you're not just whacking off in your own computer to yourself, whatever, you know. And so that's kind of cool. So you're getting some conversation in there, one-on-one conversation, where a lot of agoraphobic people that spend all their time within their computer may not have been talking to people before. We recorded what was it? Fucked Up in Philly. We recorded this show, and we were calling it Fucked Up in Philly during the show and everything. We're joking around, but it's I don't know. It was a really good show actually, and I mean I thought everything sounded really good. So we'll just have to see.
There is definitely more of a direction in any of the anger that's on this record. It's not just self-absorbed anger. It's actually thought out and has direction in it, you know, as opposed to, you know, I think your anger can be a strength if you can figure something positive out of it. But if you just sit there and dwell on the negative, then it can be a weakness of yours.
Complexity in the emotion. It's not just anger. It's hope. It's uncertainty of the future. It's pride. It's everything. You know, a lot of feelings on this record. So you can kind of feel this record as well as listen to it.
I've never been online. I guess now I have, but I've never been on the internet, never been online, never surfed the web, whatever you do. You know, so I guess I have been online. I've never really tapped in myself. We've done interviews with them and stuff, and I think that's important to do. You know, alongside with just, you know, newspaper interviews and everything. You know, since it is so common, you know. It used to be for a while. I felt like it was somewhat alienating to people who couldn't afford computers, but you know, so many people have computers nowadays that, you know, people share computers. They go over to their friend's house, they download it, they bring it to school, they read, and people read it and everything. So it's, you know, it's all news is good news, I suppose. No, I'm just computerly retarded right now as we speak.
I don't really pay attention to the charts or anything. I mean, I turn on the radio occasionally, and you know, I definitely do know that that every time I turn on the radio, the music that comes out of my speakers seems to make what we do seem. It makes rock and roll seem like it makes rock and roll look like a very original concept.
They really compliment us. They make us look better.
Well, we called up Mount Fuji. See, they were gonna have this festival up there, but they didn't bring it up when they didn't actually talk it over with the gods. You see. And we called up Mount Fuji, and, you know, he said, come on over if you want, but, you know, we may just have to throw down a typhoon or some natural disaster, because you can't mess with nature. And, yeah, she's a mother, to say the least. But we got to play a 500-person show while we were out there. It was really cool. I'm actually really working on a personal campaign to like recycle. Instead, you know, it's just a way of like saving all the wrapping and everything, and that's by telling everyone to go fuck themselves. You're not getting shit out of me. No, I'll get my daughter something. You know, she's cool. You know what it is. It's just like if the show's not eventful, we're gonna try and make it eventful, and you know, I mean, I blame the inciting of a riot in New York City at Tower Records on the person who booked the show. You don't book a 4,000-person punk rock show at a record store, you know. But she did, and I hats off to her, you know. But Hey, it wasn't me. Well, it was, you know, it's mutual. What can I say? I'll be damned if the other night that Christmas tree, 20-foot tall Christmas tree, wasn't just dying to go into the crowd.
It was, actually.
You know, it needed to go into the crowd, along with all the presents and the backdrop and everything.
You know, the thing is, other people make music and we make music, and nobody can really force you to buy their record. A record company can try pretty fucking hard, and it's pretty evil what they can do. And I don't even know why we're doing interviews sometimes, because I think our record, you know, explains any questions you could ask and stands on its own. It really does.
I got a kid. She's this big. Her birthday's on the 20th. Her name's Estelle. She's my hero.
You gotta have a life in order to write about it.
Because basically touring is living, but it's kind of you don't really get different experiences.
You know, they actually tried to take us off the stage, but we were backstage and we had a little help with some friends and stuff. And one of our friends grabbed the I don't know, he's just a good friend, whoever he is, grabbed the little box that turns the stage around, because it was David Bowie was on the other side and we were on this side, and he was waiting to turn around, and he grabbed the thing and wouldn't let him turn it because they were going to cut us off in the middle of our last song. So really, it is a cool venue. It's, you know, we've been playing smaller venues this whole tour, and it's just been slamming. Every show has been totally slamming, and it's just going to get better and better.
Sometimes, like, when we finish making a new record, it's like handing your newborn child to the nurse and having her walk out of the room with it. You know,
it's not like handing your newborn child to a wolf.
We're going to be over in Europe starting in the middle of February, and then we're going to go to Asia after that, and then we're going to go to South America, and this and that. We're just going to... This is a world domination thing is what it is, you know, and there's 18... Aside from being the best rock and roll album on the planet right now, it's probably one of the only ones. And there you have it, 18 good punk rock and roll tunes, and eat it up. Well, Billy probably has the most professional tagging, you know, experience. And, yeah, other than that, you know, just spray paint wherever and whenever you can. But finger painting is fun too.
Practice makes perfect. Nobody's perfect, so why practice? We wrote 40 songs, and we ended up recording 30. No, I just haven't really heard it since we mixed it. So I was like, hey. Well, you kind of fall so far into it that you kind of right immediately after you're done with it, and you kind of are like.
I think we just need to take a step away from it and reconfirm the fact that it's good.
You know, a billion, something like that.
You can't do anything about it. I mean, and it's like you could like kill yourself thinking about it if you think about things like that. Yeah. So it's like hell with it.
All right, dynamite, baby.
Let's talk to
making rock and roll for years.
Aloysius Xavier, what? Mike.
Mercutio, the third.
Horatio.
You know?
Oh, it's cunnilingus, man.
David, you take away my right. What do you want?
Secret sauce, baby.
I have a broken heart.
Oh, I hear a little violin.
That is so sad.
They wanted an irritating punk rock band that would disturb the neighborhood, and well, they call us.
Well, I think of the whole like groupie thing. I think of like something like Led Zeppelin or something. Got a wonderful. My daughter's my hero. Her name's Estelle. She's great. It doesn't matter. Like all goes to my daughter anyway. I don't spend any of my money anyway. So really, my mom bought my mom a house. I'll buy my daughter a house. I'm a pimp.